Hey guys, Joe Walker here and welcome to the video. So, I come to this park when I can and absolutely throw it down and shred it on this box alone. Now, I skate this park as if this box is the only thing here, when if you look around, you can see all the ramps. Ramp there, ramp there, ramp there, ramp there, ramp there. This park, yes, it has one of the tastiest boxes I have ever seen, but this park is designed for skating transition and mini ramp and quarter pipe. Now, when I first started skating last August, I actually did what everyone recommends. I got comfortable just riding around on the board. And then what I had at a park that's a lot closer to me is this tiny 2-foot high little quarter pipe pyramid thing. And that was just like the next natural step. I was comfortable riding around on the flat ground, retained a lot of that from when I used to skate as a kid. And then this little silver box thing, it's not really made of silver. If it was, I'd be taking it, just take it, sell it, melt it down. It's not made of silver. I skated that and I got pretty good at little like tricks and stuff, and it's super mellow. You know, when you bail, you don't really bail, you just kind of just walk away. So that was going great. And then the tricks that I'd learned on that, the stalls that I'd learned on that, I tried to take to bigger ramps, which was going great. Check this footage out. And then disaster struck, guys. So what happened then is I had a tremendously bad bail on a rock to fake it, basically locked in and hung up. And when you hang up, you expect to fall back, and you might like fall on your bottom, but I like rolled back and then rolled over my head. It was not a good day. It was not a good day. So rolled over my head. Oh man, to put it lightly, I was shook. And yeah, that was bail number one. Bail number two was just a drop in. It's just a drop in. I just dropped in on a mini ramp, kick turned on the other side, and then, no, that's wrong. I straight just dropped in and hit some moss or a pebble, and oh my God, I went flying. Imagine going from just dropping to, the moss was on the ramp, so drop in, moss, and then whoosh, off I went, and I flew and I cracked my rib. I have briefly mentioned it here before. Left kind of a bad taste in my mouth. I'm now in a position where I'm all right skating on the ramps, and there are some stalls that I'm comfortable to do, but I'm more comfortable with an axle stall than I am with a rock fakie. More comfortable with a rock and roll than I am with a tail stall. And what I want to do today is just begin a journey of conquering my phobia of quarter pipes, mini ramps, and we're going to do it on that guy there, the yellow guy. Because it's time, guys, it's time. While summer's upon us almost, it's time to get good at skating this park how it was quite clearly meant to be skated. Look at all these ramps. So without further ado, let's drop in all of the ramps, and then I'm going to try and do some stalls. So typically that is what I will do when I get to this park. I come here, I drop everything in, because I think if I can drop that in, that's the biggest thing here, then everything else is kind of just mellow and small, and that really kind of helps just alleviate any fear. So I would definitely like to emphasize the importance of learning how to drop in, because it just gets you over all of that fear, and two, it also gets you comfortable riding at speed. It helps tremendously. So, you know, before you learn anything, you know, really, you can learn to drop in, because it gets you all over all of those commitment issues that you may have. Drop in a smaller ramp first and then build it up. Wear a helmet, wear pads if you have them, to stay safe. So really today, what I want to do is land 5 tricks. 4 of them I've already landed before. So one of them will be a new trick. The first one is the rock to fakie. The second one is the tail stall. The third one is the axle stall. The fourth one is the rock and roll. Now those 3 and 4, axle and rock and roll, I think I'm all right with. But those first 2, I don't know why they scare the hell out of me. They just scare the hell out of me. So we're conquering that phobia today. I'm probably gonna slam hard. I'm not really bothered. I am bothered. I don't care. Number 5 is a fakie rock. That one also kind of worries me, but people say, you know, go for it and you'll see it's a lot easier than you think, and it doesn't feel quite as bad as you think. And I think a big part of that is because you're coming back into the ramp the way that would feel natural to you. So without further ado, I'm gonna warm up with some pumping and kick turns on the mini ramp, and then we're gonna do the stalls on this guy behind me. This is actually the smallest ramp here, bar the spine, but the spine I don't think I'll be able to do some of those tricks on, or maybe I will. That's going to come later. That's going to come later in the journey. Let's just focus on getting those 5 stalls on this guy today. Let's do this. I'm going to count that as my first ever fakie rock. I'm going to try to do that again. Did like 1,000 of them, maybe a few less. I like that trick, and I just kept going, and oh god, that's a new trick, fakie rock. Yeah, there's definitely some commitment issues with that one that need overcoming. Oh god, but that's the new trick of the day, so I am very, very happy with that. There guys is my rock and roll. Super stoked to be landing that trick. Landed it the first time the other day, kind of by accident. My front truck just kind of bonked over the coping, and then I just kind of kick turned back in, and it felt right, and then I did another one and another one. I'm going to do a few more of those, and then we'll do an axle stall. Guys, is about the extent of my axle stall. Both trucks are locking over the coping, but I'm very much looking into the ramp. So it is an axle stall, but I'm not quite stood up where I'd want to be, so it needs some work, it needs some practice, but I am happy to be able to land a axle stall. Guys, there we go. The rock to fakie phobia conquered, blasted out of the park. I am so happy right now. I have a massive smile on my face. I've rewired my brain and I can now rock to fakie. One thing I'm finding is once you do one of them, maybe 2 of them, you get the feel for it, and it is literally all just about bending your knees, moving your body, and just gentle sort of movements with the board when it comes to a quarter pipe. I can't believe today I've learned one new trick, like one that I had a massive phobia of. Like, believe me, I know it's not the cleanest rock to fake it, it's just sort of like a wheels over the edge bump rock to fakey thing, but I'm happy with that, you know. And then the axle stall and the rock and roll, learned that the other day, so I'm stoked to just be like throwing that down. Oh man, I'm not gonna do the tail stall on this. I'm gonna do the tail stall on the spine. They're the same size, but the spine with the coping, I feel like it'll be easier to lock into the tail stall. So before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's go do the tail stall, conquer that phobia, and then this will be a very, very happy day. Let's do this. Right, I'm happy with those tail stalls. Like the axle stall, I'm not sitting up on the coping, but I'm okay with that. I'm not at that level, and I know my limits, and today I have pushed and exceeded my limits with the revisiting the rock and roll, doing anything that looks like a tail stall and doing anything that looks like a rock to fakie, because whew, and the fakie rock as well is new to me. I'm happy. I woke up this morning, you know, and I was just thinking, just go to the park, do like a transition mini ramp session, get it done, get it over with. It's the last thing in my head that is just messing me up. Pop shove-its were one of them, and just rock to fakies and tail stalls, and more so rock to fakies was the other thing. So I'm just so happy that I've, you know, got over that partially irrational phobia of the trick, because the fear comes from basically falling, obviously, but if you take control of the board and you think, right, I control this board, you know, I'm gonna bend my knees, I'm gonna press on my tail at the right time, I'm gonna press on it again, I'm gonna roll back in fakie, you've got it, you know. The board, don't let the board lead you, you lead the board. Oh man, I deserve a coffee. Luckily I brought a coffee. Oh, that's good. Wow. So I'm super happy for 3 reasons, guys. Number 1, we're conquering phobias. Number 2, we're learning new tricks. And number 3, the most important thing, we're having fun. That is why I skate, just to have some fun, push my limits mentally, physically, and we're doing all of that. Skateboarding just covers all bases, and I absolutely love it. Love it. I feel like skating ramps is a different kind of fun to skating flat ground. Flat ground definitely needs a lot more persistence, commitment, but the ramps, yes, they need persistence and commitment, but I feel like things come a lot more easily, if that makes sense. It's just all in your head. So I'm definitely going to be putting a lot more energy and effort into skating ramps. I want to be getting involved with this guy behind me, this half pipe guy. Want to be locking up on that coping with the axles, want to be locking into those tail stalls, want to be getting some lines down on the half pipe there. So that's the next step. Get more comfortable with the tricks on this and then just move them to this guy, because this thing has an actual coping. This guy, not so much. What about you guys? Do you guys skate mini ramp? I know some of you do. I know some of you are extremely good at mini ramp. So if you have any pointers for myself, please leave it down in the comments below. With the tricks that I've done here, there are a few more that I've got in mind to try. But what would you try next? Obviously I'm going to try and get a lot better at these, but leave it down in the comments below. What's like the next trick to try? What would you go for? If you're not skating mini ramp, I'd just like to ask why. Is it because you don't have access to a mini ramp, or is it like me? You're just avoiding it altogether for fear of falling? Because if it's that second one, I encourage you to go straight to your skate park or wherever the mini ramp is and just spend a whole day or as long as you can there and just commit, you know, just commit, because the feeling that I'm feeling right now is worth it. Wear some pads, wear a helmet if you're that scared of falling, take control of the board and go for it. As always guys, I want to say a massive thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.